afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, January 16th, 2023, after 3 p.m. Eastern. We will have a Time for Change call this Wednesday at 9 p.m. We're going to talk about the progression and frequency for the planet and the civilization. And we're going to talk about truth versus, we're going to talk about honesty versus dishonesty currently in this very now on this planet. And some of it probably will, some people won't. They'll look at it probably from a different perspective, hopefully from the heart-mind. For this civilization, and this is the only way, by the way, there isn't a shortcut, there isn't some high tech that'll take you there. This is the only way for this civilization to evolve way beyond where it is at now. Remain all the time in the heart. Okay? The God within you will determine the future for you to accomplish the work. What is to be done will be done at the proper time. Don't worry, abide in the heart. Sri Ramana Maharishi. See, it's us meeting the God within us, and that is the crucial element for everything to fall into place. We rely, the interesting thing is that the ego mind is so good that it tricks us in believing that we're operating out of our heart mind. Now in the heart, see, here's, how do you know that? How do you know that? What are the signs? When you believe you're in the heart mind, okay, and that the ego mind is then dictating to the heart mind, then you worry. And you have that, you know, that flushing in the chest and the worry and the stress and the fear. That will immediately let you know that the ego mind is mastering it. It dictates to the heart mind, making you think that you're in the heart mind. But if when you're in the heart mind, you don't have any of that, none of it. You know what I mean? Worry, stress, fear, anxiety. None of it. It's not there. It doesn't exist. Ego mind doesn't exist in the heart mind, in the now, where the heart mind is. So it's a giveaway, total, that you can honestly monitor and understand that, okay, so the ego mind has tricked me to believe that I am in the heart mind. And in reality, it is dictating to the heart mind, and this is why I have all of these feelings of fear and worry and stress. That's why. One of the greatest discoveries to start manifesting the lives that we truly desire is learning how to increase and enhance our consciousness. As our consciousness gets brighter and bigger, our intentions manifest easier and faster. By being fully conscious in each moment, it is easier to be free from judgments and limiting beliefs so we can remain focused on attracting the most positive, abundant experience possible. This universe is always listening and responding to where our consciousness is at. Once we are resonating with thoughts filled with joy, gratitude, and appreciation for what we do have, then whatever we want to create seems to just fall into our laps. No matter how big your desire is, or how challenging it may seem, it can be manifested easier through an expanded state of consciousness. When our consciousness expands, our minds must rise above, beyond the problem, and start to see new solutions. One simple way to expand our consciousness is to continuously focus upon it. Just keep turning your attention back onto where the awareness is coming from. Like the light from the movie projector is doing a 180-degree turnaround and witnessing the bulb and electricity from where it originated. When you turn your attention within to where consciousness is coming from for more than 30 seconds at a time, you instantly expand your consciousness. And manifesting will truly become effortless. We were built this way. Okay? We were actually built this way. You know, we're gods inside these physical forms. But we aren't consciously aware of that. And we were equipped through this endless journey to have anything we desire. Now, that's very difficult for the ego mind, the mind to comprehend or wrap itself around. It's too small a vessel. So this is why we always have this argument within ourselves of saying, that's just silly. You know, life isn't that way. It doesn't work that way. You've got to work your fingers to the bone and grind and, you know, and claw, and you've got to manipulate and deceive so that you can have this illusion of power and control. No matter how real it seems. So doesn't it make sense that all of us deserve the best of everything? We always have. We always will. We deserve the best of everything. Not just one or two of us, but all of us. We all are equipped with the same understanding, the same structure as the one next to you. We all have the same. It's just that some of us just don't know it. Okay? We don't know it. And therefore the ego mind controls us into believing we have limitations. There isn't anything, there's no such thing as limitations. You want an orange tree in your yard, you'll have an orange tree in your yard. That's as exact as it gets. So it's twisted for us because of how we've been programmed. So now what's happening is that we're choosing to reprogram ourselves, dropping away things that we're finally figuring out are just not real. They're not true. And the way we found this out is through experiencing through our own lives that what we were programmed with other people's thoughts, are becoming more and more untruths. And some of us are picking up on that. It's not anger. It's not, you know, it's not their fault. They were taught who were taught, who were taught, who were taught, who were taught. And this is a social structure. No matter how big any of our desires are, or how challenging they may seem, they can be manifested easier through an expanded state of consciousness. When our consciousness expands, our minds must rise beyond and above the problem and start to see the new solutions. Period. One simple way to expand our consciousness is to continuously focus upon it. Keep turning your attention back onto where the awareness is coming from. When you turn your attention within to where consciousness is coming from for more than 30 seconds at a time, you instantly expand your consciousness, and manifesting will truly become effortless. Now, when we recognize an absolute true fact for ourselves, that whatever we choose to manifest is a done deal. Now, ego mind messes with us by saying, well, it's never going to happen. It's taking too long. No, this is all garbage. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so what happens is that don't listen to anybody except your own consciousness. This is where we got in trouble. We didn't know. We were empty vessels, and we were programmed by other people's thoughts. So when you're angry, we lose consciousness. We become unconscious when we're angry. We become unconscious when we're angry. Anger covers us like a black cloud. We can commit murder. We can destroy life. But when we are loving, bells of joy start ringing in our hearts. We start feeling our consciousness rising. And if and when in love also we lose consciousness, become unconscious, then remember we are calling lust love. And this kind of love is not the right thing, because it is not going to help us to grow, to expand, to attain the fulfillment of our potential. As our consciousness expands, it's easier to match the energetic vibration of what we want to manifest. As our consciousness expands, it is easier to match the energetic vibration of what we want to manifest. For example, when you are feeling and thinking like a success, you start behaving like one and attracting successful people and situations to you. When your consciousness is only focusing on your problems and personal issues, it reflects a lower vibration and manifests even more challenging situations, or nothing manifests at all. You ever gotten a situation where something happens, car breaks down, and usually it's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's a snowstorm or something, rainstorm, whatever, and you blast out frustration, anger, right? And at that point, you go into unconsciousness. Because you're spewing this out, and you're banging on the steering wheel, and you're just disgusted and upset. And you're really sending that vibration out. When nothing changes, the benevolent, all-teaching universe is usually placing us in a waiting room when nothing changes, where we can have time to enlighten our consciousness, shift our attitudes, heighten our vibration, and then effortlessly receive the positive end result that we desire. When feelings of impatience, unworthiness, lack, and fear are replaced with patience, worthiness, abundance, and love, then our desired outcome effortlessly shows up in the most mysterious way. It usually is in the most mysterious way. The manifestations that are given to us in this life are like the universe's reward system telling us that we're doing something right and living in alignment with our true power. It's not in our highest path to judge how these manifestations should or should not appear. Some people are not wrong for whatever crazy things they've created in this world, or that others didn't deserve to manifest whatever they did. Everything is karmic, past lives included. And if you only knew how close to God you truly are, you would see it is all divine, perfect, and never judge anything as right or wrong again. See, what a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people, they dismiss this. They dismiss it. They shove it under the carpet or in the closet. And the word karmic is that when you, whether it's conscious or unconscious, usually it's unconscious, whenever you do things that are really low frequency, right? And you harm others, or you harm things, you harm trees, or whatever it may be. And this is low vibrational frequency. So the universe answers that by saying, okay, you will come into consciousness and understand, and sooner or later, because it always comes around. Sooner or later, what is 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, 100,000 years, whatever. And it's not like it announces its arrival, but there always must be maintained a balance in all things. Okay? There must be maintained a balance in all things. In all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. So how is this carried out? Well, you come to the realization that you've stored a lot of karma, negative, let's put it that way. And your positive karma doesn't negate it because it's not enough positive karma. So then you're actually directed to experience a life where you're doing only good, high vibrational frequency things, period. You're doing it without gain. You're doing it without ulterior motive. You're doing it because you know that you must balance your good and bad karma. Now, you can eliminate the bad karma because once you finally figure out that you become conscious, and that's what this is all about, harming anything or anyone is bad karma. When you lie to someone, when you are dishonest with someone, when you deceive someone, that's bad karma. And sooner or later, it will have to be tended to. No matter who you think you are, no matter how powerful you believe you are, in the afterlife, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You will be pulled into the direction to balance your karma, to eliminate your bad vibrational frequencies that you've acquired throughout existence. The manifestations that are given to us in this life are like the universe's reward system telling us that we are doing something right, living in alignment with our true power. It's not in our highest path to judge how these manifestations should or should not appear. Some people are not wrong for whatever crazy things they've created in this world, or that others didn't deserve to manifest whatever they did. Everything is karmic, past lives included. And if you only knew how close to God you truly are, you would see this. You would see it is all divine, perfect, and never judging anything as right or wrong again. He who thinks he is the doer is also the sufferer, from Maharishi. This universe wants us all to wake up equally, and that we each understand how we are all powerful, enlightened beings who can truly live every moment of our lives in joy, appreciation, and love. It knows the exact experiences that we need to manifest or not manifest in order to awaken. Awakening is always the soul's priority, and this universe is our holographic cosmic playground in it. So in the end, it's not so important what amazing or horrible things we've manifested. What counts the most was how our consciousness grew along the way, and how much time we spent in love, gratitude, inner peace, and joy. Remember always that what you think and how you think is responsible for shaping, defining, and creating our reality. Every little thought we think counts, especially the ones that just slip on through seemingly unnoticed. The way we see and perceive the world is how the world shows up and manifests itself for us. Our minds are like mirrors, always reflecting back to us what we are choosing to believe is out there. The greatest power in this universe is inside us, waiting to be discovered through realizing this phenomenon. You can't say it enough. We keep reminding ourselves till we head in that direction. We have the power, we always have, always will, ever, beyond, and forever, to totally shift the planet and shift the civilization. Period. Isn't it amazing that we're taught in so much of the physicality, which is the illusion, that we have to just grapple and struggle throughout life? Life, we use these vibrational frequencies which are very low, and then the young ones hear that, and then they pick it up, again being programmed by other people's thoughts. And then we begin to then we start reaffirming that life is painful, and it's a pain in the ass, and life sucks, and all of these terms in vibrational frequency. How many times do you hear anybody, including yourself, affirm or reaffirm life is absolutely magna glorious? It is absolutely phenomenal. And you're stating or saying this in the middle of a storm, right? In the middle of total chaos. And you're saying it with such conviction through your heart mind. Not the ego mind, not the trickery, but through your heart mind. You're reaffirming it every step of the way. But what is it? What's the clarity here that you become more conscious? You know when you're angry, you're unconscious. You know when you're in a lustful thought or lust, you're unconscious. So there's certain things that kick us into unconsciousness. And through our unconsciousness is why we reincarnate and we start over again. So the hamster wheel of reincarnation is that you reincarnate, you go into another body, right? You have different family, different situations, different occurrences, but you're unconsciously aware from the past life. And it is our ability, that's amongst many of them, is to identify this. And you ask yourself, do I wish to live in complete peace? All right. Now, the tug of war here is the ego mind saying, no, you can't. You can't live in complete peace. You can't do that. You know, look at all the turmoil. Look at all the upheaval. Look at everything. It's crazy. You're not going to be able to do that. No, because it doesn't want you to go into the now. It doesn't want you to focus on your breath. It doesn't want you to be conscious. Your heart mind wants you to be conscious so that you can finally understand and discover that you're the God within the body. You're the God source. Everything happening on and above and below this little planet in this solar system is created by us. Everything. Haven't you figured it out yet that we as gods create an environment? All right? We create an environment so that we can experience that environment, so that we can learn. Now, the expansion, and people will say, well, I thought we were all knowing, all seeing, all everything. In a way we are, as the gods we are. In another way we aren't. In a way we're highly advanced beings. In another way we're in childdom. So the reason is because we keep expanding. And we keep adding to the knowledge. We never stop. So we're always learning from the collective one of which we are all part of. Because every one of us are somewhere experiencing physical form and learning and experiencing. And then we're conveying that to the collective. So no matter how separate you feel, we're all contributing to that. It's all funneling and cycling in to the one of which we are part of. Never ends. So we're constantly expanding. And we're constantly learning. And the collective consciousness is all creation, beyond pure consciousness. And we create things collectively. We create planets and solar systems, suns, depending on the physical life that we inhabit. Now, there are planets that have no suns. And it's a whole different kind of physical life. But it is physical life. And we have a definite impact on this universe and all universes. Because we're all one. We're collective. This is why the disharmony on this planet is so silly. Because we're all one. We unify. Not many people talk about unification, unifying, being together as one, moving as one. You still have your illusion of individuality, but you drop all of the things that have been taught to you and you've been programmed with in this social structure. You begin to reprogram yourself. You begin to realize that together we are a massive, powerful frequency energy that cannot be thwarted. That we can create anything we choose. Now, we can create it on our own, each of us, but we actually draw upon the collective, or we can all be consciously aware that we're one. You view things differently because you choose to, but you view all of the people on the planet, all the life forms, as what do you view it as? Do you view it as a bunch of single beings, or do you view it as one? And if you view it as one, then all of the things in your heart mind, all the things that you've been taught, prejudice of everything, skin color, civilization, structure, everything. Your separation, which is the illusion that is meant to convince you that you are separate from the God that you are, from everything. You're separate from everyone. You're separate from everything. You're all alone, and you always will be. You are powerless. You have no power. You have no strength. You are meant to be told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, forever. That's the lie. That's the deception. You go throughout history, and you can dig and find the real history. You'll discover. That's the way it's always been with this civilization. Telling it what to do, how to do it. And the interesting thing is that those low frequencies have never had even a smidgen of authority over any one of us. And they never will. And this is part of the Great Awakening from the civilization of the planet to start understanding this, where then it is vaporized. It doesn't even have a hair of control. Something that is quite interesting that one of our folks shared, one of our sisters shared with us, that I found to be very true, very true. But, some of it, this is from John Fire Lamedeer, Sioux, Lakota. He lived 1903 to 1976. So he lived to be 73 years old. All right? Now, listen to these frequency, these words. Now, understand that this is not meant to be a prejudice, okay? And in the quiet time of this meditation, in your heart minds, you'll understand that. But it is a message to the people of planet Earth. It definitely is a message. All skin colors, all creeds, all religions, everything. And we'll funnel, and this should be universal, but we'll look at it from here in this country of America, where it was projected. Before our white brothers arrived to make us civilized then, we didn't have any kind of prison. Because of this, we had no delinquents. Without a prison, there can be no delinquents. We had no locks nor keys. Therefore, among us, there were no thieves. When someone was so poor that he couldn't afford a horse, a tent, or a blanket, he would, in that case, receive it all as a gift. We were too uncivilized to give great importance to private property. We didn't know any kind of money, and consequently the value of a human being was not determined by his wealth. We had no written laws laid down, no lawyers, no politicians. Therefore, we were not able to cheat and swindle one another. We were really in bad shape before the white men arrived, and I don't know how to explain how we were able to manage without these fundamental things. These fundamental things that, so they tell us, are so necessary for a civilized society. Now, you can understand the meaning of those words, and there wasn't prejudice meant here at all. It was a message to humanity, to the civilization. We never have thought about, because of our unconsciousness for 3,000 plus years, that all of this infrastructure is not necessary, and it never was. Infrastructure is put into place to do what? To enslave populations of planetary systems. So you put in structure because you take away the innate ability of the civilization, its own structure, its own decision process, its own understanding. See what I mean? So when you look at the current structure of this planet, and many of you are aware of it, but you're not in a prejudiced state of it. That has been surrendered. But when you do look at things without judgment, which I know at times is tough, you begin to realize why. Haven't you ever asked yourself, why do we have prisons? I mean, why? All these poor people, if they don't have, we get it for them. See? That's the point. There's all different exposures and experience that we create as gods in these bodies to just simply experience. So you see homeless people, right? Probably drug addicted, some of them. Some just lost their jobs and everything went to hell in a handbasket. And of course their vibrational frequency fed it. And now they live in the streets, urinating in the streets, defecating. Because what else are they going to do? And the interesting thing about it is that, and these are all positive markers for all of us to understand. It's not the governments, right? It's the people. The governments have no power. They really don't. They never did. It's an illusion of fear. And this is a whole lot of shaking going on this planet. To do what? What's it meant for? Well, doesn't it make sense, gods that we are in these bodies, have finally said, okay, enough's enough. We're going to shake every physical being on this planet. We're going to shake them awake. Because it's time. We're way overdue. It's time for us to take our rightful place in existence. And we've been literally tented, blanketed from the beginning. And we continue to follow down this street of degradation, fragmentation, disillusion. And this is the ironic thing. All of us are the power. It's a fact. It's been proven. This isn't just some fantasy. It is a reality. And we are all supreme reality. So this what we view is what we've created. And it isn't, it's our fault. That's ego mind. It is saying, I'm really very grateful and thankful that we've discovered this. That we've created all this. And you watch things and you understand and you say all the wars, all the conflicts that we're aware of as a species, all the bombs and all the damage and all the trauma and everything. What that is a massive lesson that it doesn't work. Prejudice doesn't work, right? All these lower frequencies. skin color, all of this stuff, religious basis, man-made. You know the biggest religion, the true religion is? The God that you are in that body. That's the true religion. The rest of it, all you got to do is look at what it's done and created. You know, and Muslim and the Quran, and it's like, you know, destroy the infidels. It's always about pitting humans against each other, pitting against them, and then those who cause this sit back and watch it with joy. There isn't any evolved planetary system that, and I emphasize evolved planetary system into higher and higher frequencies, that operates in low frequency at all, because they have discovered, and it wasn't a cakewalk, but they have discovered that this isn't our desire. This is not our desire. This is our ego mind's desire. Our heart mind's desire is the opposite. And I've often made the bridge, the connection, okay, without any expectation. It's just that there are certain things that will be brought into the civilization to teach them that they're the whole package. They don't need to add anything. They have all the bells and whistles. They can't cram any more than what they already contain, that the gods there are within the body. Right? You are the supreme model, and you always have been. You just never tapped into it because you were brainwashed on negative, mostly negative frequency programming that was handed down generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. Not a negative, but it's this discovery is the exciting part. That, remember, discovery is halfway there. And that's not saying that, that there is muck that you have to trudge through. You do. You gotta go through it because you created it. So it shouldn't be a surprise. You say to yourself, well, this is understandable. I created this. I create all these lower vibrational frequencies that after a while overtake the balance of the planet. So doesn't it make sense? Pain, suffering, anguish, sorrow, all right, anger, hatred, revenge, manipulation, power, control. These are all low vibrational frequencies. Now figure that out. It doesn't. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, but you kind of look at it, watch it, then you begin to understand. Is there, through your heart minds, in this quiet time of the meditation, you focus on your breath, you remain still like a statue, you listen to the breath, right? And in your heart mind, feel the vibrational frequency of the civilization. Not judging. No expectations or attachments. You're watching, remember. You're not judging because it's all part of you. So you feel it. See, we most of our existence, we thunk it and not felt it. And from thinking it through the ego mind, we create it, which is pretty much twisted in a lot of ways based upon our programming. So now we are unprogrammed. Remember, anything that has been done can be undone. Everything, anything. No matter how your ego mind tries to convince you that's impossible. That's impossible. And we do use the word impossible in certain situations, right? Which really is insignificant because nothing is impossible. It just depends on where we put our energy and power, what we focus on. You know, if we focus on the fear of war, conflict, all of this this. We know this. We've experienced it more than once. It's not new to any of us. We've experienced corrupt governments every lifetime we've entered. There has not ever been on this planet a benign, loving, caring government. Never, ever. It's been the opposite. Control, manipulation, dishonesty, power, and money. And as when you feel through your heart minds the vibrational frequency of the planet, and then you begin to understand that we're all one, right? And we created this one way, shape, form, or another. So we created the demons, we created the portals, we created all of that stuff. Seriously. Okay? Where we focus our attention, we create. We manifest it. Now, you begin to connect far, far beyond where you've been. And then you start watching all the species and civilizations throughout existence and beyond. Okay? You look at all these councils, and these galactic councils, all these different civilizations that basically are physical forms that are housing gods. That's the bottom line. So you start to realize things, is that a lot of them don't know they're one. Authority. You ever notice something? Why is there authority? Why? Not just on this planet, but everywhere. Galactic Council. Why? Having one being decide for a whole planet. Why? Right? Because you'll understand as you become more awake that there is no control other than you. And the control is through what? Fear of the unknown. So you've got to control species, civilizations. You've got to govern them. They've got to have structure, no matter how advanced they are, or appear to be. That's all ego mind too. So you will, every one of you will, discover this. Not as a judgment, but as a wonderful experience of understanding that that a civilization can be given a few morsels, like a few extra packs of energy to catapult it forward to a certain extent. And we were designed, so to speak, to govern ourselves. In other words, as you heard Lame Bear, right? John Lame Bear, you heard his message, and it worked. Okay, and don't pay much attention to the books, the history of that, because it's all made up and twisted. You go by vibrational frequency through your heart mind, you're going to know. You're going to know without a question or a doubt. You'll know it through the heart mind. You will not know it through the ego mind. We use our thoughts. We think with the brain. Okay? We focus with the brain, and that's power and energy because the brain is an electrical power plant. And so we use the brain for us to focus on things through the heart mind to create and move into manifesting all the time. The ego mind is a illusion structure to keep us from discovering who and what we are. That's it. That's what it does. Highly insecure, never satisfied. Sound familiar? Always wanting more. You know? And anything it gets, it's only happy for a short period of time, and then it's back to getting more. And it's an endless battle. Why do you think so many, well, I won't say so many, that there's certain beings on the planet, that billionaires and trillionaires, that never have enough? They never have enough. They live through their ego minds. And if they didn't live through their ego minds, they lived through their heart minds, they would be helping everyone and anyone they could, period, without fear. That's what they would be doing. So through this phenomenal time of expansive growth for humanity on this planet, unprecedented, with the Great Awakening is this more and more of us discovering that we are God in a body. The body is temporary. We create the body to experience the physical life so we can learn. And whatever we want to experience, we create. And most of the time we don't remember we created it, because a lot of us are still unconscious and in the direction of thinking we're unconscious or believing we're unconscious, when actually we've been conscious for over 3,000 years. Isn't that amazing? But because of the programming and the social structure of the planet, it's kept us in a bicameral unconsciousness. Because if you know, none of the things that have happened would have happened had the population been consciously aware of things and not unconscious. Okay? That's where governments can just step in, take over, and enslave. Pretty easy, too. It's like taking candy from a baby to come in and enslave an entire civilization that is bicameral, right and left brain, incapable of thinking for itself, governing itself, right? Just like the American Indians did. They did just fine. They didn't have prisons. They didn't need them. Isn't that amazing? They didn't have locks or keys or anything. They didn't have money. They didn't know what any of that was. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take a deep breath in through the nose, easy, and a deep breath out from the mouth. Remain still as a statue. In your heart mind, not your ego, not your head, which is easy for us to do. This very moment contains everything. Surrender to it, and guess what? You'll actually get the whole universe with it. There is an extraordinary depth to any seemingly ordinary life. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we will return here January 17th, 2023, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Treat yourself as priceless. Be good to yourself at all times, and stay in deep gratitude at all times. Practice it, practice it, practice it.